Welcome back, everyone, to the Deep Dive. Today, we're diving into something a lot of us think about, especially those of us who are married. How to keep that spark alive, how to really connect with your spouse on a deeper level.
And it's not just about like date nights and flowers, you know?
No, it's deeper than that, right? Like, how do we
Right.
move past the surface stuff?
Mhm.
Luckily, we have a ton of really interesting resources about reigniting that flame in marriage.
And what really stood out to me from these sources is that it's really about shifting your mindset.
Okay, so it's not just about doing things differently, it's about thinking differently.
Yeah, it's about being intentional, with intimacy,
That's a good word.
intentionality.
Because what intimacy means to you might be totally different from what it means to your partner.
Totally. And the sources really emphasize that, like, we need to actually listen,
Yes. Like really listen to understand what intimacy means to them.
not just assuming, right?
Right. Like not just assuming you know what they want or what they need.
Which is so easy to do, I think, especially when you've been together for a long time. Yeah, for sure. And that's why that verse in James 1:19 is so relevant.
Oh, yeah. What does it say?
Let everyone be quick to listen.
Be quick to listen, slow to speak.
Exactly. And I think these sources that kind of take that idea a step further.
How so?
Well, it's not just about listening to hear the words.
It's about understanding what your partner is really trying to tell you.
Yes. Like,
Yeah.
what are their expectations around intimacy? What does it mean to them on a deeper level?
That's deep. Yeah.
It is. And, something that one of the sources mentioned that I thought was really interesting was um, how sexuality itself is a channel of communication.
Whoa. Okay. I've never thought about it like that.
Me neither at first, but it makes sense.
So it's not just about the physical act. It's about communicating something to your partner through that act.
Exactly. It's about expressing your love, your desire, your connection.
And that means being present in those moments, right?
Absolutely. Present and attentive to both their emotional and physical needs.
It's a two-way street.
Definitely. And, speaking of being present, another big theme in the sources was the importance of spending quality time together.
Yeah, that's something everyone says, right? Quality time.
It is, but it's easy to say and harder to do, especially in the busyness of life.
For sure, like between work and kids and all the other things that life throws at us.
It's so easy to let that quality time slip away.
And this source, it really emphasizes the importance of cherishing your spouse.
Like really carving out that intentional time for connection, for just being together.
And it's not just about being in the same room,
Yeah.
right? It's about how you spend that time.
Absolutely. There's that verse in Ephesians 5:33.
Oh, I love that one.
It says to love and respect each other deeply.
And there's another one, Genesis 2:24. It talks about cleaving to one another, becoming one flesh.
Yeah, like it's not just about proximity. It's about that deep, intimate connection.
So it's about the quality of that time together, not just the quantity.
Exactly. And what's interesting is that this source suggests even like seasoned couples who've been together for years, can benefit from a love agenda.
A love agenda, what is that?
Basically, it's about being intentional about planning romantic dates or getaways.
So it's like having a plan to keep the romance alive.
Exactly. It's about actively nurturing that love and not letting it become stagnant.
So we've talked about listening and spending quality time and this idea of a love agenda. But the next point from the source really caught my eye. It's about, the way it's phrased is, reconquering your spouse daily.
Whoa.
I know, right? Sounds kind of intense.
It does, especially for those of us who've been married for a while. Like, are we supposed to be constantly trying to win our spouse over?
Well, that's what I'm wondering, but the source seems to be suggesting that we should be.
Interesting.
Like, it's almost as if we should treat the relationship as if it's brand new, always striving to impress and attract our spouse.
And that ties back to the idea of continual growth and effort in a relationship, right? Like, we shouldn't become complacent just because we've said, I do.
Yeah, it's like we should always be working on ourselves and observing our partner to see how we can please them better.
Keep that spark alive, that desire to impress and connect on a deeper level, even after years of marriage.
I'm sensing a theme here: intentionality, action, not taking anything for granted.
Absolutely. And what's cool is that the source emphasizes that it's not just about grand gestures.
Oh, so what is it about then?
Well, it's about those small, everyday actions that speak volumes about love and care.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, like those small things can sometimes mean even more than the big gestures.
So like what kind of things are we talking about?
Well, like being pleasant, being gracious, offering kind words.
So simple, but so important.
Right. And, even just paying attention to our appearance.
Okay, so it's about showing your partner that you care and that you still want to be attractive to them.
Exactly. And there was this one line in the source that really stuck with me. It said something like, seduce your own spouse.
Whoa, seduce. That sounds a little,
I know,
little
right?
scandalous, maybe.
Yeah, but when you think about it, it makes sense.
Okay, I'm listening.
It's about keeping that spark alive, that desire, that attraction within the marriage.
Instead of looking for it elsewhere.
Right, exactly. And the source even suggests getting creative, surprising your partner.
So it's about moving beyond the routine, injecting some fun and spontaneity into the relationship.
Exactly. Like, think outside the box, find new ways to make your partner feel special and desired.
Did the sources give any specific examples?
Oh, yeah, tons. Like
Mm.
planning unexpected dates, trying new activities together, even just surprising your partner with a small gift or gesture.
Those little things that show you're thinking about them.
Yeah, like you want to make them happy.
I love that. It's almost like we're being encouraged to rediscover each other.
Right. Like see your spouse with fresh eyes, appreciate them anew.
Yeah, like when you first start dating, every moment feels like an adventure. You're constantly learning new things about each other.
That's exactly what the source is getting at, recapturing that sense of excitement and discovery, that feeling of being truly known and appreciated by your partner.
And it's important to remember that intimacy isn't just about physical touch, right?
Absolutely. It's about connecting on an emotional and spiritual level, too.
Sharing your thoughts and feelings, being vulnerable with each other, supporting each other through life's challenges.
It's about cultivating a deep sense of closeness and connection that permeates every aspect of the relationship.
And, one thing that the source brought up that I thought was really powerful was the reminder that we have a God who is the source of every resource,
Yes.
and that we shouldn't hesitate to ask him for guidance and inspiration in our marriages.
That's so true. We don't have to figure this out on our own. We can always turn to God for wisdom and strength.
So much good stuff here.
Hmm.
As we've been talking about all this, it's really striking me how much of this is about like mindset, and not necessarily about doing a million different things.
It really is like we're talking about treating our marriage as if it's brand new, even after years together.
Keeping that spark alive, that excitement.
Continually learning and growing together, never taking each other for granted.
And the source even used the word seduce, which sounded a little shocking at first.
Right.
But I think I get it now.
Me too.
It's about staying attractive to our spouse.
In every sense of the word, yeah.
Not just physically, but
Mhm.
emotionally, intellectually, spiritually.
Exactly. Being interesting, engaging, the kind of person our spouse wants to spend time with, wants to connect with on a deeper level.
So we've covered listening, spending quality time, this idea of reconquering each other daily.
That are great takeaways.
It really is. What stands out to you from all of this? What's the one piece of advice you'd want our listeners to really take to heart?
For me, it's the intentionality. Like, we can't just coast along in a marriage and expect the spark to stay alive.
No, it takes effort.
Exactly. We have to make conscious choices day in and day out to nurture the relationship.
And it's a choice we have to make over and over again. It's
Exactly.
not a one-time thing,
And it's not always easy.
especially when life gets busy.
Exactly. But that's where faith comes in.
How so?
Well, we can rely on God to give us the strength and wisdom we need to be the best spouse we can be.
That's a beautiful thought.
Yeah. He's always there for us.
This has been an eye-opening deep dive. I feel like it's given me a whole new perspective on what it means to keep the flame burning in a marriage.
Me too.
And I hope it's done the same for you, dear listener.
Absolutely.
Remember, it's never too late to start putting these principles into practice.
Nope. Any day is a good day to start.
Even small changes can make a big difference.
Absolutely. And if you're struggling, don't be afraid to seek help.
There are resources available.
Oh, yeah, for sure. From counseling to support groups.
There are people who want to help you strengthen your marriage.
Definitely don't be afraid to reach out.
And one final thought to leave you with. How can you apply these principles, not just in your marriage, but in all your relationships?
Oh, that's a good one.
How can you be more intentional, more present, more loving in your interactions with everyone you care about?
That's something to think about.
Food for thought.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for being here. It's been great.
It has.
And we'll see you next time.